My name is Ashton Andrews, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the adolescent literacy crisis and how it affects our economy. Picture this scenario. A hiring manager for a national corporation is looking to hire entry-level cashiers at a new store opening. They start by determining requirements for competency levels and job demands for their new cashiers. Must have good communication skills, must be good at maintaining a cash drawer, and must be good with numbers. They begin to jot down a list. Although the job will be demanding, it doesn't need someone who has a 2 to 4 year degree. So they begin to ponder what educational level captures a basic competency for math, communication, and spelling. A high school diploma necessitates all of these, so it is written down as a demand. The manager then sends out the job listings into different online and paper advertisements to broaden the reach for the job listing. However, the manager becomes perplexed at how many applicants don't have a high school degree. Although the high school diploma seems like a basic milestone in every American's life, one might be surprised at how many applicants will not have a high school diploma. Although not having a diploma harms everyone who falls short on an individual letter, it hurts the nation's economy as a whole. Research shows that although dropout rates have decreased in the past 20 years, there is still more work to be done in our families, communities, and classrooms. Since 1972, the National Center for Education Statistics began monitoring tracking dropout rates. By looking at the research, one can conclude that the problem of student illiteracy directly relates to the drop in graduation rates and fuels a negative impact on the national economy with generations of unqualified and unskilled workers. So where do we look at the dropout rates? Well, we'll begin in 1999. 3.8 million adults neither completed high school nor were they enrolled in a post-secondary school. So that means in 1999, 3,751,000 Americans did not receive a diploma. That's a staggering number of Americans who will not be eligible for higher education and will miss out on the numerous employment opportunities that otherwise would be afforded to them. So what about our current dropout rates? Our current dropout rates are at 6.1%, which is an improvement, but still needs work. Raphael Heller states that unfortunately, relatively few of the nation's secondary school students are getting the kind of intensive, ongoing literacy instruction they need, either to catch up in the basics or to move beyond them. Frustrated and discouraged, hundreds of thousands of these students drop out every year. While we're not pointing the finger exclusively at curriculum or teachers in general, when can a trend be recognized in illiteracy? Well, according to data from the U.S. Department of Education's National Assessment of Educational Progress, known as the nation's report card, fewer than 1/3 of 8th graders read and write at a proficient level. So this pie chart shows that only 1/3 of these 8th graders are reading and writing at the level that they should be. Hence why they become frustrated when they're not receiving the literacy instruction they need and drop out. Now that the raw data has been shown, how does this relate to our economy? Well, as any modern adult can attest, the current job market is very competitive, with the average worker facing competition from their peers as well as technological advances in automation. One can easily take a stroll through their local Walmart or McDonald's and see the advances in automation. The kiosks everyone uses are automated, and having touchscreen replaces the jobs of many of these cashiers. If being a cashier becomes a coveted position in this economy, that means that students who do not graduate are even more at a disadvantage. Heller drives the point home again in saying, a generation ago, the economy was a lot more forgiving to young people who couldn't read and write very well, or who left high school without a diploma. Today, it is next to impossible to find a decent entry-level job without at least a 2-year college degree. And once they do land a job, workers are finding it increasingly difficult to climb the career ladder unless they have the ability to communicate effectively, both in person and in writing. Even in industries such as manufacturing and transportation, where a strong back used to count for more than a clear memo, employees must be able to read and write with competence. The statements made by Heller cannot give a better forecast of the modern economic climate. In the article Saving Now and Saving Later, the author points out how a high school diploma is not the finish line anymore. It's a starting point. Now students need more post-secondary degrees, and students are not receiving an adequate preparation for this higher learning. as 43% of students who begin a post-secondary education fail to obtain a degree after 6 years. But however, that degree is important to these jobs that are opening and a requirement in most. So what is the U.S. doing about this? Well, they're outsourcing our jobs. Because our students can't meet the requirements that the U.S. is mandating, they are outsourcing the jobs. The biggest corporations in this are IT, with 25% of jobs outsourced, manufacturing with 32%, research and development with 24%, distribution with 16%, and call centers with 7%. So how does that affect our economy? Well, it shows we are outsourcing 14% of our jobs, whereas our unemployment level is only at 7.4%. So if we could keep our jobs here with the right students who are maintaining a post-secondary degree, it would take care of our unemployment problem. But because we're not meeting these demands, the U.S. is looking to countries like Japan and China and India who can give us the students who have research and development degrees. Even though the economic stage is dire, how can modern-day teachers turn the tides against the onslaught of outsourcing and dropping graduation rates? There are numerous government initiatives taking place in the education world right now that will help educators impact their students and set them on the road to success. Currently, there's the California Early Assessment Program, the Illinois College and Career Readiness Act, the Alabama Reading Initiative, and Just Read Florida. The California Early Assessment Program allows students who meet certain benchmarks to begin taking college-credited courses, and students who miss those benchmarks and fall short get to take remedial courses to help them prepare for the post-secondary schools. The state of Illinois also has a program called the College and Career Readiness Act. In this program, community colleges receive fundings that work hand-in-hand with high school programs. For example, a community college that has an automotive mechanic that follows the same curriculum as a nearby high school would receive funding. On a federal level, we have issued the Common Core standards that require the students receive extended exposure to subject area texts of grades 6 through 12, standards for literacy in history, social studies, and science. Subject area teachers will need to become more skilled in the kinds of reading and writing that are essential in their own academic content area. Now that we've talked about the government and federal programs that are in place for students, let's talk about what teachers can do in their classroom. Well, first of all, they can design a classroom that's task-oriented. This structure helps students not only in organization, but in goal setting as well. Another tool for teachers to use is to help students connect and understand the curriculum, is to help them relate to the material being taught. The teacher can determine how to relate curriculum in their life, their visions, their community, and the world around them. Combining these tools on an individual level as teachers will help students more than any federal or state program could. So in conclusion, the current academic climate, although better than previous years, is still bleak. The industries demand high school and college graduates, but the negative effect of a shortfall of post-secondary degree candidates puts a damper on employment selection at home, forcing companies to hire employees from abroad. Despite these challenges, legislators on the federal and state level, and most importantly, the teachers in the classroom, can make a tremendous change in student success and literacy and guide them towards academic success.